my name is Georgia. I'm from Hobsons Bay Libraries. Thank you so much for joining us today on this special Create by the Bay digital mini masterclass. Today, I'm going to show you how you might want to approach the visual creation category with a little mini masterclass in bubble printing and stamping. Don't worry if you don't have all of the materials that I show in the video. There's some alternatives I thought of, such as blue food dye instead of ink, or if you don't have acrylic watered down paint, if you've got that at home, that'll work just fine as well. Think outside the box, have fun playing, blow lots of bubbles. I can't wait to see what you do. Okay. So today I'm going to take you through an underwater inspired bubble print landscape, inspired by Leo Leone's classic book Swimmy, which is a bit of an undersea adventure. It has this beautiful bubbly, watery background, which is so much fun to make, and lots of beautiful stenciled and stamped characters. So, without further ado, let's get into what we need today. This is a fairly messy activity, so I would do it outside. First thing you need is some dishwashing liquid, a small container, a straw, got a paper straw there, some ink, or even some watered down acrylic would be fine. We're just going to need to water it down so that we can get nice bubbles happening. And and some water. So I've got a little watering can here with some water. So I'll start by popping some water in my container. Just a little bit. You don't need heaps and heaps. In fact, I'm going to tip a bit of that out. And a little bit of, just a squirt of bubble dishwash mix. And this is the fun part, the pigment. Woohoo! Got some beautiful vibrant bubbles happening there. Okay, now mix and mix and mix. Remember which end I've put in my mouth. Mix and mix and mix and mix, mix and mix and mix and mix. Mix and mix and mix. And what I'm going to do is a very gentle blow, just to check. Yep, that looks like a good amount of bubbles happening there. So get a nice big ball of them, and then a clean piece of paper. I'm just going to really gently squish that down and have a look at my beautiful bubble print results. Once you start, you can't stop. Making nice big bubbles. Pop, 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 pop. See, that time I stopped before I hit the rim so I don't get that hard line and I get more of this organic bubble splat. Do another one. And really, you can't make a mistake here. It's just fun, it's beautiful. Enjoy playing and seeing what experiments you can do, like what would happen if we added more pigment. Should we have a go? Let's see. A little bit more blue. Mix and mix and mix. And blow. Whoa. Has that made a difference? Oh yeah, slightly. A bit more vibrant. So obviously you can leave these to dry and start to layer. So I did a pink version earlier on an artist book that we're making, which has just so many different variations of these bubble splots. Some look like jellyfish, some look like planets, and some just look like big giant explosions. We haven't quite decided what, but I'm going to layer some blue over these pink and see what happens. So just pop that book aside and blow up a new storm. And choose a page to print. Which one needs a bit more excitement? Maybe that first page. Bloop, 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 bloop. Now you start to get even some color mixing, some beautiful mauves. Blow another one. Whoa, we'll have to see what that one looks like when it dries. I'll lay that one aside. So they don't take very long to dry, because it's not very thick. It's not like thick paint that you have to wait ages and ages for. So I'll just show you something else. Once you've got your bubbly undersea background, you might want to carve yourself a fish character. This is just from an old rubber, and I used a scalpel to carve away at the top layer, leaving me with this fish silhouette. Ooh, and they do get old and crumbly. This one's really a couple of years old. So I'm going to get my stamp pad. It's just a regular everyday stamp pad, and see if I can get some fishes swimming through my bubbles. And you could even see what happens when you do the fishes first and the bubbles over the top, or what happens when you put the fish prints on when the bubbles are still quite wet. It might make your ink bleed. Just experiment and have fun. Look at that, I've got a school of fish. Maybe I could have some coming in from the side. It's always good to think about the whole page. Swimming into the big bubble explosion in the middle there. Let's see what happens when we bubble over the top of the prints. Ooh. Yeah, it does make the ink bleed a little bit, but not too much. So have some fun with it. Embrace the lack of control that you have over bubbles, and see where it takes you. Let's have another look back here. This one sort of started to dry off. It's quite nice. I think I might add one more over here. Bloop. Oh! Nice. Alright, so we can keep layering them up and introducing some more ideas soon, but for now that's bubble prints and eraser stamps. Thank you for joining me in this mini masterclass. As always, there's lots of different ways you can layer the techniques that we looked at today and adapt them, such as the stamp that I showed you guys, the hand carved stamp just made out of a rubber. I've got a fish on one side and a bird on the other. You know, you can start to turn them into houses. And then those houses could be turned into a bit of a story. A couple of houses, more houses, more houses. And you start to get a bit of a feeling of a built-up urban environment. Really quickly too. That's the great thing about stamping. You can get a really fast effect. Really handy for crowds, and if you don't have access to a scalpel, or you feel like that's a bit dangerous and you want to start somewhere a bit safer, just foam cutouts that I've found at Kmart, super cheap. I just stuck them to a toy block, and you can use all the sides. So those crowd faces are just the background of this gingerbread man, and then this face that I've created using lots of little circles. You can even start going through your toys and seeing what you can create stamps out of, like I did here with, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a Can you guess what that is? Yep, Lego. So I built up this feeling of a dirty city environment for my main character here. I haven't quite finished painting her face. But yes, please keep experimenting and having fun. I hope it's inspired you to get creating, and we look forward to seeing your creation, your entry into the Create by the Bay competition. Bye from me for now.